أهلا وسهلا وحياكم الله وكل عام وأنتم بخير. اليوم 8/3/1446 هجري الموافق يوم الخميس. ما شاء الله تبارك الله. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to our beautiful mothers and our fathers, our ancestors, our great mothers of the universe, and our spouses and our family, children, extended family and friends and colleagues, and all the friendly soul tribes of this age. It is the 8th of Rabi' 1446 Hijri, and it is Yawm al-Khamis as we enter into the 6th realm, within a few moments from this. It is Yawm al-Khamis, means it is the 5th cycle. As you as a civilization, we're becoming instinct, like our paperwork will no longer be effective any longer. So we have been, literally we have been exchanged psychologically and physiologically. Okay. Whilst much of our decadence is due to our lack of growth. Okay, we don't read, we don't exercise our mental faculties. We are we are suffering of lack of using our brains. Okay, so obviously you can well imagine what the results is after having gone through such amount of strokes and such amount of chemical realization. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. May Allah grant those who did, those who tried, may Allah give them the benefits of the doubts, inshallah ta'ala. We cannot judge, we can only advise, and we can monitor, and we can also avail our services, okay, as per what the decree is of the heavens. Today the topic is, and they asked about the people of the new age. Okay, yeah. So this is specifically prepared for you in your in your holy scrolls and tablets, and be it in the Enoch or in the Bible or in the Quran or in the Buddhist text, as well as in the Hindu text, in the Aboriginals, all the First Nations of the earthborn, they are all privileged to understand the the cycles, the natural cycles, the natural cycles of the human evolution. Okay, so when you as a civilization, you can measure as to in which faculty your psychology had melted into. Okay, which melting pot were you associated and were you chained in? All right. So you are in the age of Lut, of course, where you became infatuated with where we became infatuated with something which was artificial intelligence. Okay, that's the age of Lut, where you had turned your gods into artificial mechanics. Okay, everything became robotic, became synthetically calculated. All right, everything became where you believe that the external was the inevitable reality. Okay, there was permanency associated to that, and therefore you found yourself in the clothes of Fir'aun because you thought that it was everything what you owned, okay, or what someone else owned. This is the simulation of the age, that you and I as a civilization, we got infatuated and educated and enlarged our egos, okay, in that kind of order of psychology and of neurological formats. That is where most of our DNA was considered as junk. Okay, that is where we had compromised our that is how the age since the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, that is how you now have to model and account for from the time of 1970 until 2020. It was 50 years. Okay, so you have to do the recon as a civilization. Yeah? So you know how authentic your forefathers were. Okay, you can calculate as to what was their spiritual reality. Okay, not religious. Remember, we are not in the religious. The religious is a invention of the human. Okay, there are many thousands of religions that came and that went. None of them really survived because they were cults. Okay, each one trying to best handle God in the most fragile way, but commercializing the God entity, as what most of you are in at the moment in the idolic patterns that has been undiscovered, right? So it is only fair that you as a people are told by your brand creator, okay, by your cultural by your cultural trends, your cultural identity, your cultural knowledge, in which phase and in which sama and ard do you fit in? Okay, remember there are 7 samawati wal ardu mithluhunna. Okay, so we are a civilization that needs to put ourselves onto that chart of the 7 different portfolios, okay, stages of the civilizations that had self-destructed, okay, and which of the 7 in psychology, in metaphysics, and in neurological order do you as an individual and as a collective, yani, fraternity, as a collective tribe, yani, where do you fit in? Okay, so you can only answer that yourself. No one can answer it for you. Okay, this is when you have to do your reconciliation. Okay, you have to do your stock take. Okay, if you fail to do your stock take, you will be taken stock off. Okay, so that is where you found your stock exchange today, where your empty vessel that was recovered at sea by Fir'aun, you had lost as a civilization, you had lost the essence, the meaning, the moral, the fiber, the spirit of your purpose, okay, as a past age, okay. That is why the planet goes into a higher frequency, a vibration, where she at one time kills a amount of people on earth, not kills them. No, it's wrong what I'm saying. She is assisted by the soul tribes that now volunteers to exit in order to lighten up the planet in terms of the transitions that the universe is undergoing, okay, undertaking, okay. This is your people's, unfortunately, I must bring this to your attention. This was our past age, people, okay. We you can find that some of you are living in the corridors of Shu'aib and Madian. Some of you are living in the corridors of Salih, okay. Some of you are living in the corridors of وإلى مدين أخاهم شعيبا وإلى there's different levels of your 7 different stages of reaching puberty. But don't think that your delay is delaying the natural order of the cycle, okay. Once you reach 7 cycles in her fullest, both on both ends, then she has to pop a new order, okay. You and I are on that actual threshold of popping the new order, and that is how you are finding now a cashless civilization, okay. Your currency has been exchanged, your narrative has been exchanged, your gods has been exchanged, everything about you in the real cosmic evolution of the sea of conscious has been completely overhauled in truths, okay. Not for you as a dying tribe, as a dying individual, as a dilapidated civilization, as a idolic lifestyle modulation. It is for those who Allah says وَيسئلونك عن الاهلة, okay. So at a given time, you have to establish when is the turn of the age, okay? The change of the patterns and the change of the guardians and the guardian angels, all right? The guardian angels are you. If you had kept your house clean, if you had kept your ancestors alive, if you had understood your purpose, had you uncovered yourself, had you empowered self, had you know thyself, then you would have found self-revelation. Okay? You would have been given, like the Lord, the prime creator, the mother of the universe, the queen of the heaven and earth, and the co-creator of your reality would have popped you into a new order, okay, a new disclosure. Why? This is a new philosophy, a new expanded understanding of what conscious and divinity and what is the meaning of death. Okay, once you have woken up from death, there is no more death after that. Yeah, okay, because now you have uncovered self. You have now come to terms with what it is to define or redefine infinity, eternity. Okay, this has been a mystery for most of you, including your parents and including your children. That's why you use religion in order to find a stabilizer, a drug, a drug in order to put you into a coma, and then you will not be you will not be afraid of something which is unknown. So when Allah says وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ, most of us do not understand the book, because the book has her stages and her chapters of her life. Okay, so whoever pops up in the right stage, as like now, okay, since your pandemic, which you had scientifically believed it is a biological issue, but it was actually a spiritual war. Okay, if you understand energy, if you have been given the understanding of how does a temporal brain find a terminal realm of reality, okay, your professors cannot teach you these things. It is only the masters of the age that has the upgrade in their DNA so that they can forewarn the soul tribes. Okay, I cannot go and tell the Americans of the Aboriginals of their tribes, like, you have to be as per your cultural location. Okay, when you find yourself in the South, then there's no mistake that you have always supposed to be here. Okay, your culture is what's supposed to identify your divine order and your divine makeup and your divine quantum fields. Okay, that's how your DNA, people, your light body, your astral body, that's how it operates. Okay, it's a pity for me in my life that I find that, like, if you do not escape your physical matter, then you are going to not be able to relate to who you are. You're not going to understand self. You are still going to be attracting things which is of low nature, things which is of your lust, things that's got to do with your inferior needs, your secondary issues. Okay, you are still occupied with the artificial world. Okay, you are still got to do with artificial gods. Okay, many of you, unfortunately, I must tell you the truth, you have no idea who you are, because you have not been prepared to uncover who is the soul tribe. Okay, your understanding of prophets are out of balance. You believe in people who are dead. If you speak about a prophet is dead, people. Now you believe in dead. Okay, that's why you eat dead meat, because you are dead inside of you. Okay, if you are alive inside of you, you can never operate and believe in the things that you do, because how do you believe in something which has no life inside of it? Because only when you can believe in it, when you are dead, you believe in the dead. But when you're alive inside, you cannot accept that idolatry life modules that you and I have been living for the last 30 years of our lives in this country. Okay? So, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ, They want to know who is the new earthborn people, the new earthborn First Nations. That is the Ahilla, that is the Ahl, the Ahlan wa Sahlan. That is when the Alif and the Lam and the Ha comes in the center. Okay, because who is Huwa? Who was Hawa? Okay, who was Yahuda? Okay, it's only sounds. It's only sounds. You will end up understanding that your body is a higher sound frequency that attracts or distracts, or that eventually has to be replaced. Okay, so everything moves through sound. Sound is faster than light. Okay, light is what brings you a thought. A thought is a speculation. A speculation is now verified through your nature. Okay, subject to what the quality of your nature is. Okay, most of our natures has been invaded by religious cults. Okay, that is what you are. 60 years old today, you still don't know Allah. Okay, it's madness, guys. It's truly madness. If you have no particular relationship with God after 60 years on this earth, then something must be wrong with your beliefs, because by now you should know, not believe. Belief is now dead. You should now come to an upgrade of knowing where Allah is, knowing where Jannah is, knowing where Jahannam is, knowing what you are supposed to be doing in that. So that is what we call the Ahillah, the Ahlul Kitab, the Ahlul Bayt. Okay, the people who are self-identified, people who has now been given the upgrade through the Prime Creator, through the universe, the Queen of the heavens and the earth. You are now upgraded to be living within your upgraded, repaired 12 strands of DNA. Okay, so now you are reviving your authenticity. Okay, you are just being yourself. Jaisati ani, jaisi a predikani, jaisi a maulana, jaisi a sheikh, jaisi a mufti. You are just yourself. That is the person who knows God. The person who claims a position in divine order, he is doing something which is unnatural. Okay, that is against his will, because he did not come with entitlements here. All right, there's no Hollywood in Jannah. Okay, there's nothing where you have to be synthetic. There's nothing where you have to be a graduate. You have to not have paper to be who you are. You just have to be the best version of yourself. That is what you need to understand in this metamorphosis of coming back to your inner senses. What you are now going to find is, you're going to find a bunch of people who are very much copying and pasting. I want to be like this person that comes from Yemen. I want to be like this person that comes from Al-Azhar. I want to be like that person. You're not being yourself, people. If God wanted you to follow another culture, He'd have made you being born there, or your mother's been born there, or your father's been born there, and you would not have brought you by mistake into this land. Due to your inferior complexes and the invasion of your cultural sovereignty, and that has stripped you of who you are, and therefore you had to import other gods so that you could verify who you are. That's authentic. That's synthetic. That is not how the universe is balanced and moduled. That's why Allah says, Ar-Rahman allama al-Quran, khalaqa al-insan. Okay, Ar-Rahman allama al-Quran, khalaqa al-insan. You are supposed to understand, as you evolve through your different stages of your maturedness, okay, of the evolution of the seven heavens and skies. The seven heavens and skies is your level of how you bloom for you to come out to be the rose at the end, right? That's the seventh level. That is why Yusuf, in his allegory, in the story of Yusuf, okay, It's a story that got to do with how the metamorphosis of the cycles of your maturity as a soul happens. Okay, when do you discover your highest form of liberty, liberation, and freedom? The freedom of soul, the freedom to speak without fear, the freedom to say with love unconditionally. That's the order that you're searching when you were a child. Okay? That's where you're not afraid what hulle sê, wat sê die kinder weer, dan raak jy maar skaam because jy kan praat van sy natural senses af. That's being yourself. That's what the best part of this earth is. That is every human in earth hulle verlang om dit te kry, because that is returning to your inner selves, to your inner sense. Okay, that is when God and Allah and the universe and the prime creator speaks about the ahillah. The ahillah is not the moon. Some people refer to them as the moon tribes, but it's in the Quran when they speak about tahil, it is how do you qualify to get onto that level of perception and comprehension and perspection. Okay, it is got to do with your introspection. Okay, it is subject to what are you, a body? That is why you'll find immediately after the Lut age, the Hindu age, and the Buddhist age came in the past civilizations. Why? Many of them had believed that the body was you and it was going to come back again into earth. People, that's a fraudulent belief, because that's only a belief, but it's not the truth. Okay? You don't have to rewind. You can't, because you live in the past, you believe people are going to come out of graves because you've been worshipping graves. You've been going to graveyards and believing that that thing is going to rewind in your lives. That person is going to come back. How does something temporal become permanent afterwards? It doesn't work like that, because you don't know who you are. So yet you have not yet qualified. You haven't yet reached the tahir. So many of your religious practices are very, very shallow in its interpretation of identifying and interpreting your purpose. All right. So, mashallah, tabarakallah, it's necessary, it's necessary for you to hear these things. It's necessary for you to understand that as a civilization, you have been substituted in your psychology. Your psychology, if you did not upgrade it, okay, you are going to be considered redundant in this age that you are currently coming into, because it's a completely upgraded version of knowing thyself, knowing thy purpose, knowing, having self-knowledge, and understanding how to module yourself into identifying with your soul tribe, that is your permanent family, okay? Your family biologically on earth is not your permanent family. Your astral family, your soul tribe, that's permanent. But those are the people you feel, because in this age that you are now coming in, all the theories that was proven was unproven during COVID, okay? Nobody could explain to you where it came from, and nobody could explain to you what was its purpose. But as you know, everything comes with a sabab. وَلِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا. Everything has a cause and an effect, okay? Just because you are castrated by a godless civilization. Most of us live in a godless civilization. Okay, godless, I mean we have lots of other idolic lifestyle patterns and systems that we subscribe to and that we are enslaved to. Okay, one of them are Allah. Then we have another one called the dollar. Then we have another one called democracy. Then we have another one called feudalism. Then we have another one called health, the health, the world health. These are all gods in your lives. Okay, you believe in them. You gave them your life, and that is how you entrusted your contract of your future in their hands. Okay, people, this is the simulation of how you were supposed to be occupied and invaded with wars and finding holy lands and believing that God made a mistake of not giving you to be in your own holy land. And these are all things that you had to wake up in the 7 stages as you go. That's why you'll see nobody's concerned about people that's happening in the, and in fact, they are funding it because that is the level that they are on already. You are fighting them, but they are controlling you because they know the game. Okay? You are still their slaves. That's why they know what your reaction is. So religion basically was manufactured by the very same people who has taken you into that kind of blind folding and blind following. Okay? That's why you don't know God. You only believe, but you don't know. So by now you must realize your children know something which you believe, and they know that you have become idolaters of a past age. Okay? Some things remains valid for a certain time, people. Okay, daar moet 'n expiry date wees daarop. Once the expiry date daarop is, then don't push your luck and think that you can still use it, because the heavens does not come in except when it's her time. لا يستأخرون ساعة ولا يستقدمون. These are not for religious scholars. It is for natural people who have tribes, spiritual orders. Okay, it's not for conquistadors, nor is it for people who are representing another culture. Okay, people, if you were supposed to be in this land and understand your forefathers and they had practiced their ancestral cultural orientations, you would have activated your soul body, because that is your soul tribe. They activate you at your innocence. They already module you into that cycles, okay, into that metamorphosis, into that psychology. Okay, we call it the egregore in the esoteric formats of how your evolution of consciousness. Remember, your body dies, but your conscious wakes up. So when you are awoken while your body has not yet been disposed of, then you cannot die again. Okay? Then your higher self now listens to the language of the universe. Okay? Then your Ismail is activated because your frequency is your Ismail. You can't believe anymore in the dormant kind of stories about a Jesus and an Abraham and a Sarah. That is a lie at the end of the day, because you have upgraded your frequency and your channeling. Okay? And you can now see the game for what it is of life. Because innamal hayatu dunya la'ibun wa lahwun wa la'ibun. Okay? Your mind is your it is your navigator. Okay? Mind is speaking about here your inner self. Okay, your mind is inside of your heart, because that is where that is where eternity resides. You cannot use your brains, because your brains gaan sat, your heart gaan altyd lewendig wees. Okay, your heart is within. You feel it, you cannot see it. Okay, it is not biological, it is metaphysical. That is why you have meta on your social media, because you as a species, because you didn't wake up, you are now in your death forms. You are dead, actually. Okay, meta means dead. Meta. Okay, because your sounds are dead, you don't pick up why they are putting your WhatsApp and your Facebook and your Instagram. Why did they decode it into a meta? Meta is meta. Okay, dead. You died during COVID because something happened that was a foreign invasion, and that remodeled your psychology, because that was Allah that came, but you couldn't see Allah. He sent just Anbiya, but you were making a mockery of these Anbiya. It's all in your Quran, people. Just your religious scholars, they are thinking as far as their salary. They think as high or as low as their salary. They cannot think out of their salaries. And the government obviously controls that phase of your evolution. Once you unplug out of that and you know who you are and you have your right of path with your ancestors, your soul tribes, then life is now in her permanent realm. You can now envisage what it is to live outside a physical track, okay, a physical illusion. Okay, now you're given the right to embrace self. Okay, you will give the knowledge. That is what God, Allah Almighty, will teach you. We will assist you as part of the soul tribe because this is our masters. We master the self. Okay, we understand the laws that governs the self. We understand with Allah's qudra. Okay, we can only impart this to the soul tribe. We cannot give this over to the jinn tribes because the universe qualifies you. وَيسئلونك عن الاهلة. So we stand ready in this age after your COVID invasions that come in your lives and your fear mongrels and all the things that they've done to you. It's part of the simulation, people. It's not them, it's you. You allow them to capture your mind. You allow them to shape your thoughts. You allow them to hold your gods hostage. You allow them to kill your divine narratives. You allow it, but it's because of your weakness. If you are not weak, you resist it. If you resist it, that is where you break out of your prison. Okay, that is what happened to the Tufan on the 7th of the 10th. Okay, you are having now, and whatever happens as above, so below, people. Understand me. Your higher body is above you, but is the lights on for you to know what is happening above so that you can relate it symbolically to what is transmitting on the bottom. Okay, the bottom is a facade of artificial lies. So whatever narrative in the mainstream you are following, it is a pack of lies, but you have to drain it in order to find the truth. Okay, so if somebody breaks out of a prison like what happened on the 7th of the 10th, then that has happened above there, which means a certain tribe, akhriju ala lutin innahum unasun yatatahharun. That is exactly on the timeline of that certain injunction. All right. With saying that, you got to use the Quran because it is it's a narrative that you have to put the meat onto the bone. Okay, for you to find yourself, for you to uncover your purpose, it has to be moduled onto the timelines of the conscious chapter that has been ordained by the Lord of the universe. Who is the Lord now? The Rabb. You get a God, you get the Lord, and you get the prime creator. Who is the Rabb? The Rabb is when you have been moduled through the 7 stages of the samawat so that you could come to be liberated from your artificialness, from your synthetic formulas, from what you thought was belief. Now you got to know. So when you master through the 7 levels of upgrades of conscious, where you lose your physical you part from your physical capture, you no longer identify with your lower ends wants, but rather you are now moduled through the laws of the universe, the laws of attraction, the laws of abundance, the laws of mentalism, the laws of rhythm, the laws of cause and effect. And these 7 laws, if you master it in your life, in your living circumstances, okay, you're not afraid you don't have money now, for example, because you don't believe money is real. You believe that energy is real. Everything is manipulated and regulated through energy, okay? So you can never be bankrupt when you are owning all your energy, when you hold your energy, when you are rich, because richness is from within. Richness is not artificial. Loot is artificial. When you were part of the loot, you believe that is real. How am I going to live? Oh, this God thought nothing of me. I have to look after myself. That's loot. That's the people of loot. It's got nothing to do with homosexuality. It's got to do with artificial simulations, right? So I think God needs to make people crazy on who is a lesbian and who's a homo. That's got nothing to do with the system. That's just how people eventually come to lose self-identity because of how the genetics was compromised at the end of the day. Okay, the X and the Y chromosome. If you understand how it must be cross pollinated, then you will not find the defects of children as what we are finding it in today's times of autism and kinderstarig and people. You got to understand there's no mistakes here. You have just fallen into a trap where science has given you a understanding of life. You got to uncover it by yourself because this is a journey about yourself. And the more you can become afraid to what it is to be alone, that's your journey, because you only learn yourself when you can become comfortable by being alone. You're not going to get anybody else to teach you. Your parents, your mother, if she knows herself, she's supposed to activate that inside of you. But most of the mothers don't know who they are because they lost themselves as the mother of Lut, as the wife of Lut. It's just allegories as to when people lose their nature, lose purpose, become synthetic, become artificial, become al die lekker dingetjies wat hulle wat gebeur, when that's where they lose the spiritual authenticity. Authenticity is spirituality. If you are authentic, you are spiritual. You are in your God divine purpose. You don't need a synthetic religion. You only need your deen. Your deen is who you are. Yourself understands your deen because you have a unique nature. You have a unique signature in the cosmos, in the universe. But because you have come out of a decadent civilization that went for 36,000 years, you are the end product of that civilization. That's why you flipped into the digital age now. Okay, that's all your currency. Your currency is your power. That's your energy, people. Your currency is everything who you are in the evolution of eternity. Okay, you never, ever, ever surrender your currency. That is yours and your tribes. You barter with your currency amongst your soul tribes because that is the people, that's the souls. That's always going to be with you. You're going to have to strike the balance with them. You're going to have to learn to know what it is to find your path in their presence. Okay, they are there to guide you, to help you, to support you, because that is part of the angels that made sujood to Allah. Okay, when a new Adamic, a new Adam, was ordered through the heavens. Okay, a new pond. Oh, wow. Look, what you need to come to terms with as a civilization is that the beliefs that you are still holding on in the heavens, it is idolatry at this moment in time, people. All right, it's idolatry. I have to tell you this because it must go down in the digital print that we imprint into the conscious conjure of reality. Okay, it's got to do with heavy mind stuff. It's heavy mind stuff, these things. But you have to have a pure soul, man, and you got to know yourself. And you cannot want to have titles. You cannot want to use it for a purpose that is going to demonetize your spiritual well-being. Because at the end of the day, I can only do this for myself. If I'm stupid, I will be doing it for someone else. But who am I going to do it for if I don't even know myself, if I do not know my purpose? Okay, so that is why most of the people that that is famous today, you will never know them because they are actually just a simulation on a digital screen, because they are not here to know you, they are here to know themselves. So that's what they are actually doing. But because of our infatuations, now we want to look like Jennifer Lopez, and we want to look like Angelina Jolie, and we want to look like, and we are infatuated by this guy, and we have, yani, this is why, because we are of that low caliber. We don't know ourselves. You don't follow, you let others follow you. You must keep your currency. You must keep your your true sovereignty, your true power, your true energy. That's yours. Now, in this time of وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ, at the time that the assortment is taking and finding those who have made the deal, okay, those who are qualified for the new age, okay, that is the ahilla, and that is قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ, okay. Here it is those who has gone onto the great transition, the great transformation, as to how you give up your past identity, how you give up your past truths, how you give up your past beliefs, and how you incarnate into a new self. Okay, how you are given entry by the heavens into a new conditioned reality of your higher self, where you are now in the permanent metamorphosis of what Allah calls Jannah, where the lights are on. Jannah is not paradise. Jannah is where the lights are on. Jannah is where you uncover yourself. Okay, you're always going to be soul from this moment onwards. It takes you 5 years to go through this process. If you are diligent, if you are a strong fighter, if you are a go-getter, if you are a fearless person, if you have a golden heart, if your tribe is of a good caliber, okay, your soul tribe, of course, and then it's the greatest evolution. The science cannot teach you this. You got to teach it to you. Allah will teach it. The universe will teach it to you, and that is where you will find and feel and discover your qualifications. That is وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ. It is a time conscious transition, okay, transformation. It's not profounded in religion. Religion controls you, okay. It's not allowed to give you liberation, because that's one of the tools that Fir'aun has designed to keep you stuck in your physical reality, okay. Understand what I'm telling you, because at the end of the day, if you meet me on another conscious timeline, you cannot send a spell onto me, because I've cleaned my spectrum. Understand? Negative and positive, you can be sitting opposite me, without you unconsciously, you are sending a spell into that person, because you are thinking, man, hoekom het Allah dan vir hom al hier gegee en nie vir my gegee? I cannot be done. I cannot. I'm shielded of that which you are innocently believing and thinking and spelling out, because it's energy. Energy is this. It's not distilled. Energy moves. Energy is always transferred. So how do I shield myself from that kind of reaction from your subconscious or your unconscious body? I've got to say the truth. My truth is a shield in this age. Okay, so in that way, I upgrade and I am further synchronizing with my higher self. Okay, that's how it works in what you understand as Jannah. People are already in Jannah, in conscious, and since they had cleared their lower desires, and they had also faced up to their guilt and their fears. They had remedied and they had healed, man. You are a civilization after an age has changed, has come to her end. religions was dismantled. We've proven to you already. Whoever controls your gods controls you. Okay, whoever controls your religions controls you. Whoever controls your churches and your synagogues and your places of worship controls you. But you are still not that way because obviously it's a different story. Yeah. So we are only just having to give you the roadmap so that for the next generations to understand how we were equipped to navigate ourselves out of this calamity that most of us cannot uproot ourselves from. Okay, it's got to do with becoming self-empowered, self-knowledgeable, and self-revelation. Okay, loneliness is the core of this trial. Okay, if you cannot be with yourself alone, then you are still in sub A. Okay, loneliness is coming as a part of having to be all the time by yourself and not finding yourself boring, not finding the need to find reinforcement to make you feel alive. Okay, this is all part of this journey, people. This is how you have to push and how you get to go through that modulations and that alterations and that navigations and that you get through that dark night of the soul, right? And that is the keys are given to you as you go through because the angels are there. The angels are the angels. It's the light. Okay, it's mothers would know it very well. The mothers, the great mothers, knows this very well because they swim in that steam. They hold the candles and they hold the misbah. مثل نوري كمصباح فيها كمشكاة فيها مصباح المصباح في الزجاجة الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة ما شاء الله تبارك الله. Anyway, it's almost Maghrib time. These mashallah tabarakallah people, it's necessary. I must be honest, and I am honest. We have submitted the full plan for our soul plan. Okay, for the new generations, we cannot change the old people. We cannot change dead minds. We cannot change. We have to uproot ourselves completely in order to become versatile for the new landscape. Okay, where you now look at retirement villages, cultural retirement villages, okay, out of the city. Okay, how do you become compatible with death when you are caught up inside of your fabricated lies? You gotta uproot yourselves. You can't go every time outside of your country. 99.99% of your people needs to die here. They're going to be buried here. But how are they going to synchronize with the cosmic transition of not having to fear where they are, not having to learn who they are after they're dead? They suck that time. Okay, so your mythologies now, guys, Ya Rab, you got to realize that if you are from the Ahlul Bayt, the people of the time, the Ahlul Kitab, the people of your chapter where you read your book of life, and Islamat. Ayo by Islamat for you. Okay. You will find your tribe as you go along. Okay. This is not there. We have the plan. The plans are there. The trust is there. The arts and cultural trust, the media, the cryptocurrency, the istismar, the weight, the blockchain, the what is that? The fintech technology. Okay, so as your conscious is upgraded, you come closer to understanding how you are taken for a fool in the third dimension. Okay, and how they make something which is artificial, they make it into you believing because you believe it's real, but it's not real because you don't know, you just believe. Okay, now that's how your money, that's how your property, that's how the things you've achieved in the last age this new age psychology that the God has set it is a new complete thing that you're going to laugh at yourself and say, yo, was ek so fool, was ek so dom, was ek so gullible, was ek so easy om te gevat word vir 'n ride. Now, if you find your true sovereignty, when you get your autonomy, okay, you now live separately from the mainstream. That's where your medication, your education, all of those things are now going to change for the next tribe that is coming in, the children, okay? And how their minds are going to be modeled, how they're going to change their cuisines, their lifestyles. It's an earthly lifestyle. You're going down to earth here, okay? Each one are grounding of the soul tribes. We cannot speak about the jinn tribes because that is the hell that we're exiting, people, okay? So mostly the hell phenomena is that yani, there is where you need to manufacture religions in order to keep you yani, in contact with something that doesn't exist, but it's keeping you occupied. Okay? So once it's keeping you occupied, Allah opens up a door for the Ali Lut, yani, for the Ali Shu'aib, for the Ali Nuh to exit because they have now upgraded their strands of DNA of maturity. Okay? Allahu Akbar wa lillahi alhamd. Jazakallah to Sister Nazliya. Allah grant your mother Hajjah Layli, Layti Abdullah. She was with me in Egypt. I'll never forget her. May Allah grant you barakat. Beautiful mothers. We have the best of mothers in Muradia. MashaAllah, may you have a nice iftar. And Allah give you barakat. Shukran so much for your attention. May Allah grant you equal reward. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ya Mustafa